Hey everyone, this is Eugene Roddenberry, and you're listening to Season 6 of Sci-Fi Sisters. Live long and prosper.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the Sci-Fi Sisters podcast, where we give you our point of view. It's season 6, baby, and I'm still Tamia Harper. I'm joined today by my sisters, Yvette Blackman-Tom.
Hello.
And Fran T.
What's happening?
What's happening, sisters? It's so good to be back.
Yes, it is. It really is good to be back. Season 6. Geez.
Season 6. Can you believe it?
No.
Oh.
Yo, Franny T, what were we doing in the beginning when we said we wanted to have a podcast?
I don't know, and we didn't either.
Truer words.
Right? And that ain't nothing but the truth, as they say.
Right.
We are opening up season 6 in a way that is super special to all of us. And first of all, I'm not going to open up season 6 without saying that Sabrina Wood is sitting right here at our shoulders with us. And we miss you every day, sister. Miss you every day, but she's right here with us. And I know she's with us because she would be super excited about the person who's sitting here with us in person today. None other than the shepherd of everything Star Trek today. Everything that's good about Star Trek today is because of this man. He is none other than Eugene Roddenberry, CEO of Roddenberry Enterprises. Welcome to the show, sir.
Yay!
Hey, thank you so much for having me, guys. This is awesome. It's a real pleasure to be here. And thank you for such a warm introduction. By no means, and I'm not just being humble, I am not the one who is everything good about Star Trek today. There are so many incredible teams I can only speak to the new Star Trek in terms of today, right now, truly that are doing the hard work of making the shows that we love, and we don't love all of them, but the shows that we love, the episodes that hit right, the episodes that represent Star Trek. There are so many great writers and producers and actors and everyone across the board that are making that great stuff. I sit at a desk and I send in notes every now and then and have a phone call. So I'm a cog in it. But in terms of someone who I will say believes in the true essence of Star Trek, what it can be, its potential, and when Star Trek's at its best, that is what I'll stand behind. That is, well, I can't say I'm doing that day to day. That is what I'm trying to make sure is in Star Trek day to day.
All right.
I see, and that's why I called you the shepherd.
Yeah.
Because I really feel we as fans, we feel your work. We feel you trying to nurture what's coming next and nurture the legacy of the past and honoring that so much. I mean, I know I speak for me.
You speak for me. I definitely feel that way. I know when I see your name, you and Trevor's name come up, I always think, okay, good. Yeah, definitely.
Some comfort.
Yeah.
I take that very seriously, and that's maybe even too seriously. There's people who work in, of course, any industry, but of course this one as well. And what they need is a paycheck, and they have a talent, and they get it done. They get done what needs to get done. I don't want to say they don't care, but I was born and raised with this legacy. I at a young age didn't care because I was a teenager trying to figure out who the hell I was. But as I realized that Star Trek was more than just television, it touched people. I had so many people come up to me and tell me that their lives were positively impacted. Could be small, could be big, but by this TV show, I wanted to be a part of it. And of course, my last name gave me that opportunity. So I take it so seriously when a series comes out or an episode comes out and perhaps there's a misstep or something, an oversight or a mark missed. I take it very, very seriously. And it's not about blame per se, but it's about figuring out, okay, how did this happen and why did this happen? And can we correct from it? Can we make sure we don't do it again at least? I just want to let you know, and you guys are already giving me the kudos and the credit, and I appreciate that, but I just want to reassure you that it is very important to me. This is not a paycheck to me. I'm not saying I'm living in squalor, but I swear on my life, I do not do it for that.
Yeah, I do. And, and I think that's so clear to us. I remember when Trek Nation came out, and I'm so grateful right now that I'm a little emotional right now, guys. So I'm just going to give you a heads up. Like, this is like, I don't fangirl a lot. But your personal journey that you have taken, I feel, in a lot of ways, I feel some kinship with it, but most of all, I feel a lot of respect for it. And that really started when I got to watch Trek Nation, because you were so honest in that movie, about your journey, with your relationship with your father, your relationship to this franchise and to the fans, and the process, the whole journey within it. And you did some real deep soul searching in there in front of us, and you let us all into that. It was a really vulnerable position to be in. And so, like, that's where I really developed a hardcore respect for you. Can you talk a little bit about the journey of making that, and the revelation, the personal revelations for you?
Yeah, I will say that I didn't know, and probably still don't know, how to make a documentary. The short version of the story, because I can go on forever. I was at a convention and I heard a gentleman who was doing these little interstitial cuts for, was it TNN at the time, had bought Star Trek? Anyhow, he was interviewing people and he was talking about what they loved about Star Trek and how it impacted their life. And he was doing the positive story. At that time, a documentary called, Trekkies came out.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
The first Trekkies I didn't like so much because it was making fun of fans.
Right.
I think they made up for it with the second one.
Yes.
And so I wanted to I wanted to show my experience with fandom, which had been, the journey was, I don't get Star Trek. I don't know Star Trek. Let me meet you. Oh my God, this is amazing. I had no idea. You, the fans, taught me Star Trek. So I wanted to share that story. And the gentleman who I met said, let's make it a son seeking to understand his father. And at the time, I didn't get it. And we spent about 10 years doing interviews at conventions. And by the way, it's 10 years because we do a convention here, and then 3 months, 4 months later, we do interviews here. And so we spread it out. And as we spread it out, it kind of evolved and grew. And we like a tree, we'd hit one branch and we'd realize that's not the right direction. Anyhow, point is, it took 10 years because we made 10 years worth of mistakes. Not to say that anyone on the crew or team was incapable. I'll point the finger at myself for the most part, saying I went from not wanting to be in it or being about a father understanding his father to a Did My Daddy Love Me documentary. We had a few cuts in there that were kind of like that. And while that was a powerful cut to me, no one's going to care. It's because there's no relationship to me. They didn't. So anyhow, it was a crash into the wall, start again, crash into the wall, start again. But I think the part that you're asking is the opportunity to talk to fans from all around the world, people who knew my father, people who were friends of my father, people who worked with my father, people who were in the same industry as my father, and get their perspectives and their interactions. I fought hard to get interviews with people who didn't like my father. What's his name? City on the Edge of Forever.
Oh gosh,
Harlan Ellison.
Thank you. Harlan Ellison. I called him up and I said, I'd love to get an interview. And he responded with, "You wouldn't want to hear the things I have to say about your father." And I was like, I would.
Yeah.
I would. I was almost sick at that point of people saying Gene Roddenberry, the great bird of the galaxy, because they put him on a pedestal.
Right.
And when they put him on a pedestal, it's hard for anyone to really identify. They can idolize, but they couldn't identify with him. And impossible for a son to identify with him. When I knock him down off that pedestal, and I don't mean it in a rude way, but when I show him as a human being and find out the things he did wrong, the cheating on his wife, the drugs, all that sort of stuff, now he becomes a human being who's flawed, but also did this great thing. Now there's something there to love.
Yeah.
And so that was the journey, to humanize my father. And for me, when I humanized him, my hope was I could now love him in a whole different way and see him in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And now the audience, in some level, could say, like, no longer is he this mythical figure, but he's just some guy who, sure, had an incredible life, but made plenty of mistakes and still was able to rise above and have an incredible vision of the future. Maybe I can do that too. That was what 10 years took to figure out. And for me, it was well worth it.
I love that. I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm dominating the conversation.
No, please go. Go
because
ahead.
I feel really strongly about this because I like Yvette and I were talking a little bit earlier, and I was saying like I'm the daughter of a woman who is larger than life, right, and has accomplished a lot of things. And several of my friends are children of people who are these larger than life figures, right? And we grow up wondering, and I think this is something that a lot of people can relate to, no matter your status in life or what you're doing or their career. You know, is that you grow up like, how do I fill these shoes? Sometimes, you know, that's a big issue. And because these people are so much larger than life and are so active in whatever field they choose, you wonder as a child, where do I fit in with this? You know, and do I command the same type of love and respect as whatever endeavor you're doing or these other people you're around? And, you know, all these questions. So I related so strongly to all that self-seeking that you were doing in that documentary. And I wonder, and I love the fact that you talk about the humanizing, the humanization, because that is, like, for me, the thing that the one tool that has let me truly appreciate, you know, the people in my life, my mother, my father, and see them as the human beings that they are. Instead, like you said, instead of these icons. And I still go out today, people are like, oh my God, your mother, she's da 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 da. And I'm like, well, she is, but she's also her.
My mother.
She's also my mother.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
there's a whole nother relationship there, you know. There's a whole nother thing
Yes.
there. You know. It's just like I just felt that really intensely. And just so you know, I do think that people would have been interested in the question of like, does he love me?
I was saying the same thing. I was saying the
really
same
do.
thing. Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying.
That was a different
making it.
story
Yes.
that we went off track on, and it
Right.
might have been a right way to do it.
Mhm.
The cut that I was trying to put together was not the right one
Okay.
because it spoke directly to me and wasn't telling the story. So that's, you know, if there's anything that I learned a lot about what not to do in a documentary.
Yeah.
And I have some ideas what to do if I ever do another one. But ultimately I was very proud and happy with it because it was genuine. It was as much as you can get into 90 minutes, it was a genuine sort of journey.
It totally came through.
It did.
That's why it's one of my all-time favorite Trek documentaries. Period. Hands down.
Yeah.
You know, I just ordered a copy. Like I was like, where do I find it again? You know,
I'll send you guys. We have if anyone still has a DVD player, I'll send you as many copies as you need.
I do.
I'm not just saying that. I will in this chat. I guess I shouldn't say that publicly.
No, not publicly. No.
As much as I'd love to send everyone one, and would, because we need to get rid of a bunch. We're not going to necessarily. I hate to say it, take the time and effort to get that out to
that's a lot of work.
500 people. I don't know. Maybe at the convention we'll give a bunch out of.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But again, you have to have a CD player or a DVD player.
And we do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have two.
Yeah, your Blu-ray will play it.
I've got
most
one.
of them will play
got
them.
an old one.
I'm going to yield the floor to any other sister because I have dominated.
I wanted to. I know we talk a lot about your father, right? But your mother is someone I idolize. I have always. I was telling Tamia today. You know, I was really thinking about it. So I grew up in a family full of Trek fans. They're everywhere, right? I was not a Trek fan when I was growing up. I didn't want nothing to do with it. And then I married a guy who loved it also. So, but when I was in college, The Cage came out, and I was overwhelmed. I think that's the word, overwhelmed, right? So because I was like, oh wait, maybe I do like this show. and then I was obsessed with Menagerie forever, So I was like, wow, is it maybe it was Majel? That's all I needed to see to make me say, okay, maybe these people know something I don't know, and let me find
Yeah,
out.
a woman second in command.
Yeah,
Who could believe that?
I couldn't believe it. Believe me.
In pants, no less.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Right. And
but not all of them were in pants. They made
not
sure
all,
to get that
no.
mini skirt in there.
They really did. They really did. If Sabrina was here, she was like, "Why not?"
Right.
Because she loved a mini skirt.
Yes.
But yeah, so I wanted to really find out more about your relationship with your mom. As who was she? I mean, we hear a lot. I know when we were growing up, she was a force to be reckoned with when your father got
Yes.
ill. And I
Oh,
just want
yes.
people, we have people of all generations listen to this podcast, and I want people to really know who she was.
Yeah.
Yeah. She definitely is an unsung hero on many levels. Again, I keep saying I want to say the short version because I can go on forever, and I'll try to condense it. She was kind of the housewife when I was a kid, and I remember her saying, "You just wait till your father gets home." When I broke something or did something, but we had great family nights. My father would come home from work, my mother would cook dinner, and we would have dinner together. So, I can never be one of those kids that complain that my father wasn't around. He did that with his first family, and I think learned that lesson.
Mhm.
And so, well, he may not have been emotionally there as men of that generation often
Sure.
weren't.
Sure.
He was there. So back to her. Sorry. So as a young age, she was a mother, and it it wasn't until my father passed away that she really kind of, I guess, took on that role of being the provider. I mean, she loved him so dearly, and they did go through their own hell together. Relationships
Yeah.
then and now can be a lot of work, and there was fighting every now and then. There was my mother and father, sometimes being quiet, but she was very almost passive, but would stand up for herself with him. It's not like they ever fought, but she would argue back. When he passed away, I would never want to be up against her. And I argued with her a lot. We argued. And the saddest part was we were always kind of saying the same thing but from two different points of view. I remember saying that a lot. We're both arguing the same thing. We're just not. So both of us were a little pig-headed at there and not wanting to relinquish our dominance or whatever the heck we had. But what I remember most about her is, with and without my father, she didn't let anyone take advantage of her or anyone around her. They, back in the days of the golf club and there being the men's grill and all that, she would go down there during the men's day. And she would, I don't know if we're allowed to swear on this show.
Yes, you are.
Yes, please. It's a sign of intelligence.
But, she'd say, let's see them fucking throw me out. And she would go down there with all the men smoking cigars, and she would tell the dirtiest, raunchiest jokes. They allowed her. She was an accepted one. She was a sailor at heart. I remember her telling some jokes that were, I don't know if I should have heard them at that age. But she was also fierce for the people that she loved. If someone ever took advantage of them, she would speak right up. So as you just said, she was a force to be reckoned with in the sense that she could be soft and dare I say feminine or motherly at times. Yeah. But if you crossed her or anyone that, she was with, there, regardless of whether she had a rational response or not, you did not want to be there. And so I've got to give her that credit. And the biggest credit of all, she had to deal with my father. And I mean that in a loving, respectful way. A man in Hollywood then, and of course now, all sorts of things happen. Man or woman running a show with those kinds of stresses. Yes, there are other industries that have stress as well, but to be the counterpart to someone it's got to be incredibly taxing. I mean, I saw it. I saw how tough it was on her. But she truly loved him unconditionally, and that's I'll never I'll never falter for that, and that will be the thing I take away.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah. She was the best.
Yeah.
And I only knew her from
She
her
was great.
on screen. And every time I see her come on the screen, I always have this huge smile on my face. Like, there's my girl.
I love her in TNG. I just love her.
Lwaxana.
Yeah.
She is the
Lwaxana.
I
best.
loved her.
No, I have a little Luxana, but it's upstairs.
Yeah. She the story is, and I don't know this for a fact, that they didn't have a character for her. My father knew that she was going to push to be in it, so they had to create a character that was basically her. If anyone's seen Lwaxana, it's a slight exaggeration, but only a slight exaggeration.
You don't know how happy that makes me,
right?
Oh, I love her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Dirty old girl chasing old men.
Love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
At least in the show. But,
Right. Right. I want to be just like her when I grow up.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
That
Oh my
menopause show.
Yeah, man. I mean, she make, I've talked to a lot of women who didn't get her when they were younger, right?
Yeah.
And now that they're older, like, yeah, she's my favorite.
Yeah.
Which is so cool too, because like she was speaking truth to a perception of womanhood, that a version of womanhood that, especially back when she was doing it, was not at all cool to portray. Like nobody really gave a shit like how real women thought or felt. Especially if you were over 25. Nobody cares about you.
I was going to say, as much as I'd like to think we've moved forward, sometimes I'm not sure all of us have.
No.
So
really.
we're grateful to her for we're grateful to her for everything, because we know that also behind the scenes, we know she was keeping the shit together for us and preparing a place for you to do what you're doing now.
Yes. And that would be, I'm glad you brought that up. That would be the one critique I would have, is that she was also, solid as stone. She did not show her emotions. I when I was going back to Trek Nation, when I wanted to interview her, of course, for it. And I wanted to know Gene Roddenberry through her eyes. And, and it wasn't gossip or dirt that I was trying to get, but I was trying to get truth. I really was. And she just, we never used the interview because she just did what she did to the public. Just kind of spun everything in a positive way and really didn't dig in. And I realized that's who she was at her heart. I don't know what she went through before me. She had a whole life before me.
Yep.
And I got some wind of traumas, and I don't want to dismiss them and say many women, but I back in the day, today, whatever, I'm sorry to say whatever, but I think she went through some serious shit in her life.
There's no,
and that walled her up, and she did not ever show her emotions to me or to anyone else unless it was, catastrophic tears. And that would be, again, I don't mean to say that's a criticism. That's something I wish she felt comfortable doing with me, because it would have been so much. I would have gotten to know her. It would humanize her. So I could have really gotten to know.
And I think it's so, when you're saying that we're all doing like this, because we get that from her side, we get that. We get that she also had to make sure that the ship ran well. And, if a woman criticizes or is perceived to criticize her husband, it would have just went the wrong way. So she's been through a lot. She's pretty smart. She knows that one wrong move from her could just like sink the ship.
Right. And I didn't get it. I was so young. I didn't. know how to process that until so much later in life.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I love her even more now.
I wanted to ask you about the other great woman in our life, and which is Nichelle Nichols. And did you ever get what your interactions might have been with her?
I don't want to, this isn't a put down of any other cast, but of all the cast members at a young age, I didn't go to a ton of Star Trek things. And when I did, I was kind of at the table at the convention or whatever. I wasn't really brought into the cast. But every few times that I was brought in, Nichelle would be the one that's, come here, come here. I remember at Jimmy Doohan's Star in Hollywood. I don't know how old I was, 20s, 30s, I don't know what it is. And it was all the original cast that came and a number of cast members. And I was just standing, in the audience. And Nichelle's like, where's Rod? Where's Rod? He's a part of this too. Right. Get up here, and she was the sweetest, most thoughtful woman that I ever knew. That I never felt left out, but she wanted to make sure I felt included.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
And no one else, again, I don't want to say anyone's bad, but no one else has done it to the extent that she had.
Yeah.
And she did it every goddamn time. And that was that showed me who she was.
Yeah. I love to hear that.
Her sister, Miss Smothers, is a good friend of ours, and we adore her. And I think it's just in the genes or something. Those girls were raised right,
Yeah, they were
really loving, caring human beings,
and very humble,
very humble,
very humble, and trusting to a fault.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That
too. Yeah, that too. Yeah.
But I thank you for that. Because she is obviously there's a direct correlation from her to us. And Fran was watching her in the original run. Fran was watching Trek in first run.
1966. Yeah.
1966.
I was 11. Yeah.
You were 11. Nice.
I was 11. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Soon to be 12, but.
Right. That's right. You were soon to be 12. That's right. 11 and 3/4. I love it.
I remember watching. Oh, go ahead.
I met her the first time I met her. I was 45 years old and she was here. I'm in Norfolk and she was here. She and another cast member from TNG was here. And I met her and I bawled like a baby, and she just I took a picture with her and I bawled like a baby, and she was just so sweet to me. She was so sweet to me. I'm Kemp right now thinking about it, but she was so sweet to me. She and the other cast member was here at the Space and Science Museum. And I went over there both nights. The first night I didn't have anything to sign. The second night, because I had actually bought her book. And I asked her, "Oh, you got the book?" And but she was so sweet to me, and I was like, just so overwhelmed, and she understood. She didn't make fun of me, or she didn't. She was just so sweet to me. So
you're saying it. She understood. Again, I'm not trying to throw shade at people. I'm just saying there's the people out there who they get it. I think when they've got some sort of, I don't know, it's not celebrity, but some sort of fan base who admires what they do, and they still have that. Again, goes back to humbleness, but they get it.
Yeah,
they know that what they do on some level has touched someone, and they're proud of that and humble and appreciative to be there. And then there's the others who don't, who feel harassed by it and bothered, and how it might have stunted their career. And listen, I'm not in their shoes, so I can't say what
we say. The same thing.
Life. But don't go if you're going to be bothered.
Exactly.
The fans know.
We all know exactly, because it's not subtle. And, and there's a, Galaxy Quest portrayed it perfectly. And, and,
Absolutely.
and we get that. I tell you who I love, who I believe is truly taking on that mantle is Sonequa Martin Green. And, talk about legacy right there.
She definitely
if I
gets
can
it.
share a quick story about her, that is also wonderful. I mean, and forgive me for interrupting, but the minute you said that, I was like, oh my God.
I'm leaning in.
They shoot the shows in Toronto and I'm in LA, and not only that, there's like 12 executive producers, and they don't need me up on set, so I never went to set very much, and I could blame COVID and all that. I just never went to set. Anyhow, point is, when I went up, once, and I had my girlfriend with me, and we went on set, and it was a closed set because it was a little bit of a love scene. And so we got them in between, that. And then as, we left kind of quickly. I said hi to everyone and then kind of left because we came by to say hi. She ran out of the stage door. And I think she was pregnant at the time, but she ran out of the stage door and she's just like, where are you going? I just wanted to talk to you. And she was so sweet and so thoughtful and went out of her way to say hi and be personable and be genuine and just sort of say, like, we'd love to hang out. Just, anytime. I'm so sorry you couldn't come in because it's a scene going on. And I was like, no, I totally understand. But you said it. She is one of the genuine, caring, sweet people in Star Trek.
Yeah,
for sure.
Talk about getting it. She definitely gets it.
She gets it.
She definitely gets it.
I mean, they made that was the right choice.
Oof.
Period. Hands down. We didn't know her. And I mean, the Walking Dead fans knew her that, but a lot of Trek fans didn't, and she came on and it was like from the beginning, the way she handled herself with such grace and such poise, but there is a depth, and you could see that what she was doing out of love. And, she is our origin story. She is the Sci-Fi Sisters origin story because Fran and Sabrina met online defending Sonequa and the character of Michael Burnham, before the show had even come out, right? I mean, we remember all that vitriol that was heaped on this show that had the audacity to put two women of color as lead characters, How could you?
Yeah.
The audacity.
You'd think it was the future. You'd think it was...
Right. And so Fran and Sabrina met defending her, and they said, well, we're going to meet up in person at a convention. And it was after the first season, and I went to that same convention and met them. We went to a panel that was supposed to be about Discovery. It was here in Washington, D.C., which historically is Chocolate City. It's not so chocolate anymore. It's more white chocolate now, but it's, I know, right? Don't get me started on my gentrification sales. But in this convention was a room that was full of about, I would say, like 75% Black women. Wouldn't you, Fran? Or 60%? It was over 50% of the audience was Black women. But the panelists ignored when it was time for us to do questions and make points and stuff. They pretty much ignored us and they talked about all the other things that were great about Discovery and spent like maybe 5 minutes on the historical fact that a Black woman was leading this cast. For the first time in Star Trek history, and not just leading that, but launching an entire new network, it was, and so we came out of there really pissed off. Really pissed off.
Something. I was, I kept raising my, and they wouldn't, but I spoke out anyway. I was like, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what I said, but
I don't remember what you said either, but it was good. And we were all like, snaps, yeah, girl. Like the whole thing was like, yeah, what she said. And also, but we walked out of there and we were upset. And then that's what drove us. And we said, well, we could do this shit better.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
wow, I'm sorry it went that way.
It did. And it was an instance of, people allying themselves with sometimes with the wrong people, you know, and for whatever reason that these people give, like what they did was an active, like omniscient, what's the word? Overlooking,
Omission.
omission,
Omission. There we
active
go.
omission of the black women's voices that day,
Yeah.
you know,
Interesting.
and you know, so we just said, well, that's not going to happen to us again because we're some loud
Take care of this.
chicks.
Everything
No,
happens for a reason.
Everything
I'm
happens
glad that
for a reason.
inspired you guys to do
Yeah.
this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's been
Absolutely.
inspiring Black people forever.
Oh yeah.
When we can't sit at the table, like, okay, fine, we'll do our own.
Yeah.
So here we are.
I can't help but think of sort of where we are in our current state of affairs, but we don't need to go down that road.
Mm-mm.
I like I said, I take Star Trek very seriously, and of course, in the last, well, is it 12 years now? Whatever it's been, we need it more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't around in the 60s, so civil rights movement, I can't speak to that. My lifetime, we need it now more than ever. And I just don't understand how we've fallen so far back.
Yeah.
And I say we because I take responsibility for being an American.
Yeah.
And I think the idea of us and them is terrible. So we have fallen, and we need to work on our I call it education. I don't mean STEM, but I mean social emotional. I mean ethics, humanities, diversity, all these sorts of
morality,
things that aren't necessarily taught traditionally in school that you're supposed to get from your home and community that most of us or a lot of us are not getting. We need to radically revamp the way we bring up our young. And I think that starts certainly at home and, of course, at school.
Yeah.
But that's all different. Let's not get into politics. I don't know enough.
That's a totally different
I only know enough to get into trouble.
podcast.
Yeah, I only know enough to get into trouble.
Episode.
That's another episode or Mary Trump's podcast.
Right.
There you go.
Exactly.
Which is awesome.
Well, I won't be on that one.
But you know, I mean, I'm glad you sort of brought this up because one of the things that we were thinking about was, you know, in the 60th year of Trek, you know, what do you really hope that Trek can convey, and how do you hope that it can convey these core philosophies to this newer generation? You know, I mean, there's OG Trekkie over there, and the rest of us are Gen X. You know, and then but we've got several generations behind that. You know, who came later that they're speaking in a different way, and like, how do we convey these messages to them?
You know, I really don't have certainly all the answers, and I know you're not necessarily putting it on me to have the exact answer. But you know, our TV shows and movies need to really start focusing again on exploration and discovery. And when I say exploration and discovery, I'm not talking aliens. I'm not talking new planets. I'm talking ideas. I am talking about meeting life forms out there that are different. And at first we don't understand, but then we realize that their method of communication is simply a cultural difference that we have to understand, and therefore we are now able to communicate. I mean, back to the TOS and TNG days, the kinds of stories that make us think, the kinds of stories that challenge our perception. You know, I think about what is normal today, what is commonplace. Think about what's offensive today. Well, 50 years, 100 years from now, that's going to be commonplace, the offensive stuff.
Yeah.
So let's jump into that future. Let's project ourselves and analyze those things and say, what is really wrong with them? You know, my father used to always bring up, you know, government, church, sex, marriage, religion, all of these things, and want to challenge those notions, and not challenge them by throwing them in someone's face, but ask questions. Like, ask those questions and make the audience say, you know what? I don't necessarily agree with it, but I never saw it that way before. Or now the bad guy, I understand he's not the bad guy. I empathize with him because truthfully, in his or her position, I don't know what I would do. I think that is Star Trek at its best, when we at the end question our own ideas, question our own perception of the way things are, because an episode presented something or a movie presented something, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to think about that for a bit.
Yeah.
No, you've got to have the action. You've got to have the fun. Certainly don't want it to be a beat someone over the head with a moral the whole time. But finding that mix for today's audience, that's the trick. But we do need to go back to telling stories that make you think, and give you a new perspective. Different, diversity, IDIC. Infinite diversity and infinite combination is the backbone of Star Trek. And if you're not doing diversity and idea, you're not doing Star Trek.
Yeah. Here.
Here. Yes.
So again, armchair quarterback saying what I think needs to be done. I'm not in the room pitching any ideas just yet. But we'll see.
I like that. I like that.
I like that.
Yet. That's encouraging. But I feel like a lot of the newer Trek, like they swing for it, a lot of times, and I admire that, and
Appreciate
I feel, sometimes it lands and sometimes it doesn't quite land, but they're trying, and in really limited episode numbers too. We're raised on 20 something episodes, and we've got 8, or 10, now, but they're trying, they're swinging for the fences. And I think that like because sometimes we're so close to it, and the three of us were talking before, like we're always looking at Trek from our perspective, and I have to think like, hey, this isn't necessarily like written for me.
Right.
I mean, it's written for me, but like they're really like, what I'm admiring now is that the franchise is really reaching to a younger generation and trying to speak to a younger generation in so many ways. And I think that that's key for our franchise, like for us to keep going on beyond when I'm here. We have to, because
we say it all the time. It's not. We actually said this in Vegas at our panel. We were telling Trek fans, you might not like everything, but everything's not for you, and you got to be okay with that. And you can't just be gatekeeping. You got to let the other fans enjoy their Trek. Just like you want to enjoy your Trek. Starfleet Academy, I'm so thrilled. I mean, we've been waiting for a Starfleet Academy show forever.
Decades,
but the way they're doing it, I know I have children that age, and they are excited about it, and I think they're going to really enjoy it. I'm really excited about this. I'm excited that there are new actors coming in. We get to meet. I love meeting new Star Trek people. There's new Star Trek characters in canon. I love that, So I just like Tamia said, we have to let it keep going. It has to keep going because we love it. We live it, and I think it just has to keep going, definitely. So I'm happy about that.
I really appreciate you guys saying, summing up the fact that you appreciate the big swings they're taking. Because I'll tell you what, I often, in this stage of my life, since started coming out in 2017, have found myself in the gatekeeping, as you say, a space. Even still today, because I'm not necessarily always giving them credit for some of the risks that they're taking. Now, some of them I simply disagree with and think, may not be Star Trek. But some of them I have found myself, for example, when Lower Decks came out, Lower Decks, the first script I read, I am not familiar with, half-hour animated comedy scripts.
Of course.
And so when I read it, I was like, this isn't funny. This is not, I don't know what you're talking about. I am terrified that this is going to be horrible. I am thrilled to say that I was wrong.
Yeah.
I 100% thrilled to say I was wrong. That one, I didn't think it was doomed, but I didn't get it.
Didn't get it. Yeah, I get that.
And of course, after watching some episodes, I started to get it. I was like, oh, okay, all right. I didn't realize it goes from here to here. So anyhow, and then there are other shows that I just, it's a confusing time right now, I think, for many things. Let's not even talk about AI, not yet at least.
Oh boy.
But it's a confusing time for Star Trek. I think there are a lot of big swings being taken. And I do think Star Trek needs more credit for that. And I think the teams who do it need credit for that. And you said it earlier. One of the many great things they've done is, to this, are we at 5 or 6? 5 or 6 different series. I can't keep up.
Yeah.
And they're all different.
Yeah.
They're all very, very different. And so if you don't like this one, check this one out. Don't like that one, check this one out.
Right.
One of them should, or maybe not, should land.
Yeah, because if they don't land, you got Legacy Trek. Go back and watch that.
Right? There's always Legacy Trek, kids.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't forget Deep Space Nine forever.
And Prodigy. Let's
Oh man,
Prodigy. I'll sing the praises of Prodigy.
Love letter to Star
forever.
Trek. Gosh.
All day long.
God, I love that little show.
Anyone who hasn't seen that, please. It's not a kids show. It's not.
No. It's a Star Trek
great
show.
Star Trek.
And let me tell you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
We're still salty.
Very
with Paramount. I mean, salty beyond belief. Like let me tell you, Paramount, I love y'all. We love you. Yeah. But understand that the only reason that I have this streaming service is because of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, period. End of discussion. You have zero else to offer me. Right?
Yeah.
When they did us
they
wrong,
know that.
Yeah, they do.
They do. When they did us wrong with Prodigy, I was so flabbergasted. I'm like, wow. This is what powerlessness feels like. Rub it in my face, why don't you?
Because it's so good. It's so Star Trek.
It's so quintessential Star Trek with brilliant characters, with writing that hits on so many levels. They had the tightest writing.
Their really did.
Scripts were on point every time. And
I'm
oh my God.
so glad someone else sees this. I know many people do. But, you are singing its praises. I don't have to. Oh, yes. I love what you're saying.
Always. We're very good friends with the brothers, the Hageman brothers. Yeah, we love those guys. And every time we had a chance, we would have them on the show, just to let you gotta watch this show. You gotta watch this show. But just love that show.
I mean, it hurts my heart that I don't know what's going.
Such
to
great canon. Oh my God, the canon is so good in that show.
And when they brought back the voices, they used the audio clips. I forgot the name of that. So tastefully and so well done.
Oh, it was so good. It was like the Kobayashi Maru, I think it was.
I think so. Yeah. Well done. Yep. Well done.
Well, that's my little talent there. All these titles.
Oh my God.
But yeah. So as we talk some more, I wanted to get into the Roddenberry Foundation because I know that's very close to your heart. We work together on Trek Talks, and you've been very generous in helping us in that endeavor. So I wanted you to let people know exactly what the Roddenberry Foundation is all about.
Well, we're right now in the middle of transition, rediscovering ourselves. But we started, and we will always sort of have these tenets, essentially. But we've got a TV show that talks about this beautiful future, where there's no money, no disease, no war, or in theory, less fighting amongst ourselves, and to get there, it's not only technology, it's going to be our intellect that we have to evolve really to get there. But we're going to need to evolve our intellect so we can utilize technology the right way. And so who and where are the companies, people, individuals, organizations right now? Who are the ones out there that are not looking 10 years, that are not looking 20 years, but they're looking 50 and 100 years? They're finding the cures or solutions to issues, systemic change. They're not saying, let me just, dull the pain. Let's find a cure for the disease. And so we're trying to find those people that are kind of making that Star Trek future a reality. And, whether it's in medicine, whether it's in space travel, whether it's in education, whether it's in humanities, ethics, whatever the case is, we've always been trying to find the people who are thinking long term and working on the actual solutions. And in some areas, it was easier. And technology, there's a lot of great people in technology who are making the next great thing. Now, are we going to use it appropriately? Can we use it appropriately? Or is it just going to be another way for the corporations to make money? When it comes to education, that is, I've got my views on sort of where we need to go. I don't have a clear-cut system, but I mean, there are many different perspectives, and the systems that we have in place, our education system, for the last 200 years, have been, a teacher of the chalkboard and kids memorizing from textbooks, taking tests, and all of a sudden passing as if they learned something. Now, some of them have, and I'm sure they have learned something, but true learning doesn't come from memorizing.
That's right.
You have to learn, you have to experience, and some people might do it audibly and visually, and there's many ways. Anyway, long story short, there's many different ways to approach education, and that has been one of the hardest ones. We are now we're now not sort of revamping our entire foundation to put more focus in, and I just haven't found a better word aside from education and learning in that direction. Because for long-term thinking, I don't want to say adults are hopeless. There's plenty of it. If you want to change and grow and evolve and you're open to new ideas, by all means, but focus on the kids. As we were talking about earlier, we're trying to find the people out there who are looking at radically changing our education so that the kids, yes, science, technology, English, math, history, absolutely, but ethics, humanities, social, emotional, a bit of psychology, all of these things are the other half of the equation. There's STEM and STEAM, and then there's, I'll just call it humanities, ethics, emotions, everything that we need to learn about ourselves and each other. And we are not well-balanced humans. You could graduate Yale, Harvard, whatever, and still think atrocities are okay.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So we've got a mismatch. We've got something unbalanced here, and we need to find how to rebalance that. And that's what we're trying to figure out now. Is that our direction? What are we looking for exactly to do that? Is there an idea? Are there many? So sorry, that was the longest winded thing to say. We're trying to make the Star Trek future a reality.
But it wasn't. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, I think it was needed to be said, because I think people have I think people think your foundation is something that it isn't. I've heard people say them like, I don't think that's what it is. But I think you needed to explain it that way, because now everyone knows exactly what it is. And I love that direction.
Yeah. We've had tons of great programs. We've had tons of great programs. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Wonderful programs. But it was me. I mean, I can say that I, for years, have just said, what we're doing is great. To get to that future, these are very important, but these are band-aid solutions. They hopefully maybe they'll spiral and get bigger and bigger. Maybe something will come large out of it. But right now, they're sort of smaller band-aid solutions. How can we have a larger impact on the world? My apologies for interrupting.
No worries. That wasn't needed to be said. I'm here with you.
I love it because it's like, you guys are living in the solution, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to, wallowing in the crisis or the
problem.
And staying stuck there. It's like, okay, well, there's a level of acceptance about this is the situation. And now how do we get to the solution of it? Which is where I like to live in the solution. It takes me a while. I get stuck for a little bit,
Sure.
but eventually I'm like, okay, well, stop bitching about it and be about it,
Mm-hmm.
and like, so what are we doing here? Like, what's the
Yeah.
solution? I think, we ask ourselves that question on a much smaller scale, like, what is our next thing? What is our solution? Like when, after Sabrina passed away, like, how are we going to like honor her in a way that makes an impact in the world,
Yeah.
because we could easily, like, we could do video tributes, we could have people crying, like, da 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 da. That's not, first of all, she wouldn't want that. Second of all, like, second of all, it does what? It does nothing, except for appease us inside, but it makes no lasting change. So, I really applaud you all for looking like this,
You got me in an interview. Of course, I'm going to be the optimistic one, but you'll find me. I have to crawl out of the hole too.
Yeah.
Not because I am going through hardship. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
just to be completely open, I'm a white male in
Mm-hmm.
America who's doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not saying that. Hopefully, that doesn't come across as arrogance. I'm just aware
hmm
of. I can't sit here and say my life is rough,
Yeah.
but I can look out, and I am aware
hmm
of how far we've fallen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I don't, and it doesn't, and that's very sincere. I know that it's
Mm-hmm.
not, there's a difference between like white liberal guilt and people actually like assessing the situation and looking at it critically and knowing that we all bear some responsibilities in this, and how do we get it out. I think, one of the things that I admire so much about you is that you do use your voice. You're passionate and you're vocal and you don't hide it, and
Well, maybe not
that
enough, but hopefully more so.
it's
With
there.
platforms like this, you guys are
Yeah.
giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah, and I mean, we
You're
hope you keep
welcome.
doing it. You're welcome, and thank you. Because it needs, the more people who are vocal, the better chance we have. Because I feel like right now, to go to the other fandom, the dark side is winning because the dark side is so fucking
Dark.
loud.
So
They're
loud.
so loud. They're just so loud.
Yeah. And wrong.
And wrong, and ignorance, like, repeated. People, we've seen this in psychology classes, and we know you repeat a message long enough, people will start to believe it, no
Yeah.
matter how much our thinking was the opposite before. You keep hammering in the same. So I feel like if somebody is saying nonsense over here and they keep repeating it very loudly, I'm not going to get in a yelling match with you, but I'm certainly going to be over here repeating my truth very loudly for
Yeah.
all to hear. It just doesn't make sense that I want to shrink from it or anything. We have an obligation to speak our truths.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You do?
No, absolutely. And I appreciate you guys saying that and doing what you're doing. Yeah, it drives me a little crazy. I again, we'll have some drinks and we can both vent to each other
Yes,
That's
and
it.
have it
That's
not
it.
be
but
recorded only, and then
Right.
have our optimistic outcome. In the
Yeah.
end, we are optimistic,
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
but I've got to, like I said, and like you said, crawl out of the hole.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I really truly believe. I mean, this is why, like you said, like, and I think all of us on this screen absolutely agree that Star Trek is more important now than it ever has been. You know, um,
Except in 1966.
Okay, yes, I,
Yeah.
I know you're
Mm-hmm.
right. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I changed that statement. It is just as important now
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
it was when it first came out. Thank you, Fran.
I have to be careful with my statement too, because
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful for you and for the work that all of you continue to do for the show. I mean, yes, it started out as entertainment for me. I'm a science fiction and fantasy girl, like, through and through. Like, don't give me regular general literature to read. I can't. It's boring. Like, I'm living this every day. I worked at bookstores for many years. And what did I sell? Science fiction and fantasy is my jam, but it's because of, these core Edic philosophies and all the philosophies of Star Trek that make this so powerful and so much more. Thank you for being the shepherd.
No, I got to show my appreciation to you guys because, in this conversation, in your words of pointing out that, the teams on the different shows and different episodes, swing and a hit, swing and a miss, have been taking these shots. It made me reflect in that moment that, I'm very quick to criticize. And my view of Star Trek is often, I use the word myopic, tunnel vision. It can only, I call it Roddenberry Star Trek. Roddenberry Star Trek is in this narrow band.
Yeah.
Now, there's Star Trek over here, but this is what I call true Roddenberry Star Trek, and what I've described earlier. And I spend a lot of time criticizing what's out here. And with your words, the fact that you see it that way, that you are appreciating the fact that risks are being taken, sometimes foolishly, but sometimes it's a worthwhile risk.
It's risk.
I'm thrilled to hear you say that, and that has inspired me a bit to reflect on my own thoughts. So thank you.
I'm blushing.
No, it's true. I'm very critical, and it's nice to hear that someone else is saying, you know what, they're trying at least.
Yeah. I think so. Like, I mean, the worst thing for us to do is to stay stuck, right? And I think that, like, there's all these different, I get so excited because there's so many different ways to tell stories. And they are challenging me.
Yeah.
And that's exciting to me because, I'm only 54, but sometimes I can think like I'm, 30 years older. Like I can get stuck in a rut. And and I'm
Same.
I work with people who are 20 to 30 years younger than me. And I'm like, what? And I feel so old, right? So I need all this newness and new ideas or new ways of expression to challenge me every day. And thank God for Trek to do that.
Yes. Agreed.
Well said,
Agreed.
guys.
Agreed.
Well said.
Yep.
I don't know how much time we have, but I kind of want to bring up a topic, if that's okay.
Okay, we got the time that you got, buddy.
You can cut it out, but I have to bring up the Orville. Do you guys watch the Orville? Have you seen the
Fran's
Orville?
a big fan.
I've seen it, but Fran is a fan.
That's my jam.
Fran, I don't have to say anything if I've got you in the room. The Orville is Star Trek, and in some cases better than some Star Trek. And not to take away from Seth MacFarlane and the entire team that does the show. It was a love letter to Star Trek, but the storytelling and the issues that they bring up and the perspective changing and the things that make you think, everything that I said, they nailed for 3 seasons. Again, maybe not every episode, but they did a great job. I highly recommend, if you love Star Trek, especially The Next Generation, to give it a shot. It does. Now, you're going to have to get past, if you're not a fan of that comedy, which he didn't need it. He didn't need the comedy. The sci-fi was so good. And as the seasons go on, you could see that it focuses more on story than the comedy. But yeah, if the comedy turns you off, it might bother you a bit. But if you can see through it, the sci-fi stories and the focus on ideas is tremendous and phenomenal. So I have to sing its praises, because when someone loves Star Trek like I do, in their own way, but like I do, I have to say thank you to them for loving it and contributing in their own way to the Star Trek universe.
Yeah.
It's
definitely good, but
he did a great job.
Fran loves that show.
I do. And I keep seeing where they're saying they're on the bubble, they're coming back, and then you don't see anything for a while. I'm like, well, when is it coming? I need for this show to come back on, because one of the things they did, just one of the things they did, was the all-male planet, and the 2 guys had the baby, and the baby. I mean, it was funny when the guy was sitting on the egg and all this stuff. Yeah. However, the child was born a female.
Yeah.
And he handled. I thought he handled it very, very well.
Very Star
Agreed.
Trek. He handled it very
That's
Star
so
Trek.
so Star Trek. We got to talk to Peter Macon about that.
Oh, nice.
Episode. Yeah, he was awesome.
Oh, nice.
Man. Yeah.
I hope they come back. There's all sorts of rumors.
Yeah, a lot of rumors. A lot of rumors.
It's another great show like Prodigy that came out that I just feel like, somehow people are missing it.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of people, I'm sure everyone around the world has their series or their show that feels that way. And so maybe it's just me, but this is one where I feel, come on, people. If you love Star Trek, there's no reason why you're not going to love this. Anyhow, forgive me for venting.
No worries.
That's what we're here for.
Exactly.
I mean, like, I don't know. I could seriously go on like all night, because you're just a damn joy.
Well, thank you. Well, it's nice to have the questions and the admiration and the respect and the enjoyment of a similar idea and philosophy, not just on TV but in life.
Yeah.
I'm sure we have our differences, but I think we all see the future in the same way, and that's the looking forward. There's only one way to see the future, and that's together. Anything that involves a part,
it's not
there's
no
work. Future.
No,
there's no future. So I don't understand how we say and do some of the things we're doing now.
Because no one's thinking about the future.
No, no.
God.
Thinking about the dollar.
I tell you what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about the cruise, baby.
Are you on the cruise?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are you all on the cruise?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll see you there.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, we can have a drink at the bar for sure.
Hell
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Or 2 or 4.
Right.
Something.
Or whatever.
Something.
I'll be there dancing.
Could be water. It's okay. Drinking water.
Mm-hmm. That's me. That's me and my little ginger ale, ginger ale and cranberry.
No, I'll be drinking.
Yes, Yvette will be drinking. I'll have ginger ale and
I'll be
cranberry. Fran will be around for like a half an hour, 45 minutes, and go, okay, deuces, I'm out.
Okay. Eugene, I'm in my 70s, okay? So, bedtime for me is a strict 9 o'clock, okay?
Yeah. No, I get it.
You said strict.
She said a strict. Except for this cruise, I'm going to keep your ass out like at least a couple of nights because we got to do
8 o'clock.
We got to do it for our girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll help you guys keep her out. Absolutely.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, we will.
We'll keep her out to at least 10.
At least 10, right? Because then that's my bedtime.
Yeah.
It depends on what time zone we're in. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
Well, international waters, you don't know what time it is.
Who knows? We are in. There's a temporal paradox going on that ship.
There you go. Good one.
And I love it.
Except when it's time to be back on the ship. We are not running up that thing.
Has that happened before?
Oh, no.
Not to us.
Not to these pros, but I've watched some people do it.
You leaving me nowhere.
Yeah.
I got to try to get up. Nope. It's not going to be us.
That's the best or the worst seat is looking out your window at people running to the boat as it's pulling away.
Yeah,
sorry.
Dang, bye. Somebody should call. I mean,
Right.
Wow.
But I really do want to sincerely thank you for giving us the time and coming on here with us. I mean, it is an honor. Thank you so much.
No, it's 100% my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me on. I don't like the interviews or the podcast. I don't want to say a podcast, but where it's just about selling or pitching the next show or the next thing. I like talking about Star Trek. Mm-hmm. I like talking about its ideas. Mm-hmm. And these are the opportunities that are fun and interesting. And so thank you.
So Yvette, you want to give people all the good information about us?
I sure can. Thanks for listening to the Sci-Fi Sisters podcast. As we head into season 6, during the 60th anniversary of Star Trek, we're honored to continue celebrating the franchise we love and to have been named 2025 Best All-Around Star Trek Podcast by Trek Movie. Join us on Patreon at patreon.com/Sci-Fi Sisters and be part of the mothership. Join the conversation in Sci-Fi Sisters Book Club on Facebook. Watch our interviews, live shows, the legendary Top 10 series on YouTube, Sci-Fi Sisters Inc. The Trek Geeks presenting sponsor is Fansets. Grab pins and memorabilia from all your favorite franchises at fansets.com and use the code TrekGeeks, all caps, for 10% off. After listening to this podcast, please rate us and write a review. We may just read it on an upcoming episode.
And of course, we need to thank the most incredible associate producers in any and all known universes. That's Sailor Marge, Stephanie Baker, and Karen Jamera. Thank you guys so much for all your support. We love you, everybody. Thanks so much for listening. Peace, love, and hair grease, my friends. Hey everybody, Sister Tamia here with the Shorty shoutouts for this month. We'd like to thank the following patrons for your continued support. Anna Post, Susan V. Gruner, Mohammed Noor, Sue K., Karen Jamera, Dafid Balston, Eve England, Dave A. Gregory, L.M., Ann Bradley, Scott Jensen, Jamal Taylor, Stephanie Dole, Sailor Marge, Stephanie Baker, Kaylee Zawaki, Liza Albright, TJ Jackson Bay, Olga Kravchuk, Peter Heisler, Old Klein, Jeffrey Cochran, Linda Anderegg, Zakia Graham, Bill Erickson, Rita Poussant Nethersole, Rhonda G., Bernadette Garcia Galvez, Tara Jefferson, L.J., Bruce McMillan, Cassandra Gerard, Mike Nauer, Brad DeMag, Casey Shafsky, Ayana May Tom, Mike and Kristen Holton, Allison Leach Hyde, Michael Stakem, Oils Galore, Lenny, Sandra Aponte, Cleo Townsend, Tara, B. No, Allie Ashmead, Lamaya Lancaster, Eric, JKH, Daryl Lockhart, Pranakasha, Jay-Z, Frankie Don Engelbert, Anthony Aponte, Kat, Mark R.G., and Kim McLean. Thank you all so much for your support. We love you.